to Cast, your home for all things Bolton Wanderers, up the Trotters, the Northwest's #1 podcast.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Welcome back to another episode of the preview show brought to you by us here at the Fanzone Podcast, episode 16, and it's an Exeter City preview as the Wanderers face a trip down south on the road in what is looking like another important fixture as we come to the business end of the season. We will be joined very shortly by Al from the Question of Trust pod. He's an Exeter City fan, and we're looking forward to bringing him home. But just before we do, just going to have a little chat to you all about Exeter. Now, we're not expecting the unusually large viewership that we had on yesterday's episode, but a very warm welcome to you all that are joining us this evening. Thank you thanks for spending your Thursday evening with us. Thanks for spending your Thursday evening with us. Your home of all things Bolton Wanderers. So, Chris, you know much about Exeter?
I've been before.
That's all we've got to go off, really.
Yeah. That inside is good.
Yeah, we'll just have a chat with the viewers for a little bit.
Yeah. I can recommend the cider, which we purchased in the social club, which is part of the ground at St James's Park, isn't it? It was a Thatcher's. It was a lovely tipple, and nice. It was served straight from the barrel, so it didn't go through any gases or anything like that. And it was served in a proper cider jug, which looks like like a gravy jug almost. And it was. I'm not a cider drinker, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. So that's my kind of heads up on Exeter, really. I've got loads of notes about football and that, but obviously I'm holding out for Al.
Yeah, so, I think we all are. But for now, we'll just have a little chat with all you viewers that are tuning in. Yeah. 25 of you in the live stream currently. Thank you all very, very much. It is unbelievably appreciated. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Fanzone podcast so that you never miss another episode. Speaking of missing episodes, we are joined. Ian Chadbond has returned. He missed out yesterday. He's back. He's fresh out the corner, he says.
Just on that, Ian, when you said you fell asleep, was that watching or was that prior to the podcast so you missed it? Did we send you to sleep or were you already asleep? That's my question to you.
Certainly hope it's the latter. Liam was asked... after Saturday, do we expect some players to give him a rest? Also, what's the prognosis on Cogley? Well, meant after Tuesday. He's just correcting himself. Chris, are you expecting someone to be given a rest? I think it's...
Yeah, I think so.
It's going to be necessary, isn't it?
Yeah. I've not long been in from work and I didn't get the opportunity to watch Ian Abbott's press conference from earlier. So I'm not sure if there was any update on that regarding Joshua Dacres Cogley. Seemingly he is okay. So, but would you risk him if he's had a bit of a knock? I don't know. That's obviously down to Ian Abbott. Hang on. Radix Lectai is asking, is there any news? Sorry, my mouse button's on the blink. Any news on Dion and Baxter? I don't know if it's so much news, but we drove past Dion on the way back from Barnsley the other night in his Porsche.
So I met him at a petrol station in Buckshaw.
I believe so, yeah. But
didn't have any problem filling it up.
No, and he had no problem driving. I assume it's an automatic, being a big fat Porsche. So that bodes well for his knee being better.
It does indeed.
And we have a guest backstage.
We do indeed. So without further ado, to the 40 of you watching along at home, thank you very much. It is a pleasure to have you with us. Let's get stuck into this evening's episode of The Preview. Al from the Question of Trust Pod. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing?
Evening, gentlemen. Sorry, I was sat in the wrong lobby waiting, so sorry I was slightly late. The joy of podcasts. Really looking forward to the game Saturday. Hopefully not going to be on a train at 6-0. So along with about 150 other extra fans. But there you go. Well, less said about that, the better. Hey,
I'd say sorry, but I wouldn't mean it. So, I mean, the inconvenience of being on the train, yeah, probably, but getting a 7-0 at home, no, definitely not.
I've got to be honest, that's probably the first time I've done that in about 35, 40 years. But there you go.
I don't blame you. I honestly don't blame you. But thanks for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it, as always.
We do indeed. It's certainly an important game for the Wanderers, and I'm sure you'll be hopeful of a different result than the reverse fixture. Hope and expectation can often get a little bit muddled, though. What are you expecting from Wanderers on their trip down south?
Well, I think you need the points. We need the points. We're a slightly different team, I think, to when we played you, and I can guarantee we won't be having a centre half, which I did predict before the game, playing up front. He will probably be playing in the middle of the defence, and to be honest, he's been playing really well. In terms of our performances, we steadied the ship a little bit. We're expecting you to come at us. That's fine. I think there's going to be crowds at our end have held up, even though we've not been doing as well as we could do, which is really great news for us as a club. So we're expecting a tough game, but I think you'll be surprised we've changed a bit.
Changed for the good, is that?
So some of our games recently, for example, I think you've just played Barnsley, haven't you?
Yes.
We surprised ourselves and absolutely battered Barnsley, and probably should have won by more away. And we've got a good record up there because we won the season before as well. We've also won away at Wigan, which was a good result. We've got Moisa coming as a striker. So you'll be hearing the tequila song if he plays. But we've had some, because interestingly, the manager. Say again.
If he plays out, what's up with him?
Let's just say there's two schools of thought on our manager, and he's not been playing as many games as he probably could do.
Right. Okay.
And probably our style of play doesn't necessarily suit him unless we're going to start changing our style of play, because our manager seems fixated on playing possession, passing football around the back. And I think he's more of a channel player and more effective running on with pace. So, honestly, who knows what our manager will do. We've also signed a lad from Halifax Town, striker that's only played 15 minutes because we signed a lot of players injured. It's a bit of a standing joke at Exeter, but he was injured for a couple of weeks. He played at Peterborough away last week, which we narrowly lost. To be fair, we lost 2-1. We were expecting to have a slightly heavier defeat, to be honest, but we gave them a good game. And he's a bit of a unit, a bit physical from what I've seen of the 15 minutes he's played. So, and we've got a lad from Fulham in on loan who's going to be playing attacking midfielder, Luke Harris. Luke Harris. So I think you'll expect us we'll be a bit more lively up front, I think. Because the game at your place was pretty painful for those of us that have watched for a long time. So we were slightly frustrated, it was fair to say.
Yep, I'm sure Wanderers fans won't be hoping for too much action in from your front men. But it's a huge game for us, isn't it, Chris?
It is. Yeah, I think. Yeah, like you say, how we played Barnsley on Tuesday night. We went 2-0 down after being very much in the game,
Yes.
and then had to pull it back and equalise in the 98th minute from a penalty rebound. But important game, and obviously in the sense of positions in the table and Barnsley having a game in hand on us and being a place behind us as they were. So, yeah, that was important. But it means nothing if we can't follow it up, with a positive result against a team, with all due respect, who were outside of the promotion contention. We've got to back it. We've got to back it up with a good result, which means that, as one of the comments in the chat has said, every game is a huge game now for us. Last 10 games, all to play for in terms of promotion. So, yeah, it is a big game. But the reason why I was picking your brains on Mo Isa is he's a player who impressed me during his time at MK Dons. He was just an absolute pain in the backside.
Yeah,
he was a threat. He was quick, like you say, really, really efficient in the channels. He just looked to danger all the time, and I was surprised. Not that he joined Exeter, because obviously he's in a League One team where obviously MK Dons are in League Two. But I'm surprised he didn't sort of kick on from his time at MK Dons and maybe played, in a high division in the Championship, perhaps. I think that impressed.
I think I'm guessing now, but I think he did, because I think he was at Bristol City for a while, but I don't think he did very well there, because obviously he's not at Bristol City now, and he seems to have a bit of a West Country bias, obviously with Cheltenham. But you're right, and it's interesting in terms of perceptions and stuff, because we've had a lot of money come in, and we have invested some of it in this window. So obviously Mo Isa's on loan, I think, but I think he's going to potentially join us at the end of the season. We've paid out money for players. Now, just to put it back to the perspective when we had our first conversations, it's virtually unheard of for Exeter to be buying players. And we're now in a situation where we are buying players. We've got a couple of transfer tribunals, so, for example, in a funny sort of way, please don't take this the wrong way. We're all Peterborough fans, and we're all Leeds United fans at the end of the season, because if Peterborough go up, they've got Archie Collins, who came off us last season, and it's the same with Leeds' captain Ethan Ampadu, because we'll get loads of money off the back of that will come through the transfer deal. So that said, you'll be pleased to know one Peterborough fan walked past me after the game last Saturday and just went, "We're not very good. Don't expect us to go up." So they're obviously lacking a little bit of confidence up there. And I was like, "Okay, mate, that's all right."
We were saying the same thing 2 weeks ago. So yeah, it goes like that at the moment at the Summit of League One. It's us and Derby, Peterborough. Not so much Barnsley, because until we drew with them the other night, they were they were still on a tremendous run. But Derby, Peterborough, and recently ourselves have really just decided to implode and hit the self-destruct button, as opposed to kicking on like Pompey have been doing recently. So fair play to them. But no, it's reassuring to know that, Al. But yeah, I've still got all the notes here from back in November when we spoken about, and somebody interestingly brought up obviously the model at Exeter in terms of the fan ownership element of it. So it's interesting that you mentioned that you've actually made some investment. Has that come from the fan backing, or has that come from a different source? Where's that come from, Al?
Only ever comes from the fans. We own the football club. It comes out of the monies we earn from various transfer fees. So you've got Josh Keegan, Swansea, Archie Collins, Peterborough, Ben Krasin's, Aston Villa, Ollie Watkins, Aston Villa, Ethan Ampadu. There's honestly, we've got lots of riches, shall we say? So, and there's a few others knocking around as well. So no, and it comes from that, and we work on the basis that the club needs to be sustainable for at least 2 to 3 years, right, before we'll spend any money. So that's why we're in quite a good position at the moment. So, and I noticed in the chat, Liam said, "Are they laying on freebies for the away fans?"
I was going to bring that comment up, because I'm interested in that as well.
We always do. So I think it's there. I think it's the first 50 fans through get a free cup of tea. So we're proud of that, and it's just our little way of just saying. So get there early, and you might get a free cup of tea. Yeah.
Not the Thatchers then, no.
It's probably discounted because we're sponsored by Thatchers, so I would imagine they're quite cheap because we've got the Thatcher stand, of course. So
that was a great tipple last time we came down. I'm not a cider. I was saying to Ben before, I'm not a cider drinker, but that was something else. So if you're going down there Saturday and you like a cider, was it Thatcher's? Is it Rattler or something like that?
Do you know, this is going to sound really bad now. I've got no idea because although I sing about loving cider, I don't actually like the stuff. So that's a bit of a revelation that not many Exeter fans even know. So I think it's Rattler. I think it's Rattler. But there's also a real ale bar, part of Camera at the ground as well for those who do like their real ales as well.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first from Al. If you're going down on Saturday, I saw earlier today that we'd sold 1,001 tickets.
Not bad. Yeah, that's good.
Which I'm impressed with. We've had a hell of a lot of away days recently, Al, and we've got plenty more to come. So it's been a bit, it's been a bit hard on the pocket, shall we say, the last few weeks. So, the cup of tea and the discounted cider is very, very much appreciated. So thank you for that. But yeah, you were saying before about how you kind of evolved. Just looking back to the podcast we did prior to the game at our place, you were 20th at the time on 17 points.
Yeah, and looking back.
Now you're 16th on 40 points.
Yeah. And like I say, we've improved. I'd like to see us improve a little bit more, if I'm honest, but I'm a bit relentless about that. I come from the school of thought that we could, there's a lot of Exeter fans always think plucky little Exeter, but actually it's a big city and fairly well supported. So yeah, we've had some good results, but we've been a bit up and down, shall we say? We've, like you, not followed it up with a great result.
I had a look at that. So if we go back across your last six, the most recent, obviously, the game against Peterborough that you lost 2-1 narrowly, but going back to the first game of those six, which was ironically a 2-1 victory against Peterborough, then you follow that up with a win at Wigan. Well done, by the way. Thanks for that. You're not our rivals, but well done anyway.
Can I just say on that? Sorry,
go for it, mate.
My son saw somebody walking a whippet on a lead. Not a whippet, a ferret. Sorry, and that actually made his day. Okay, and it was sort of like a coming of age. So sorry, it had to be said. Carry on.
Welcome to Wigan.
Yeah, brilliant.
Did he have a flat cap on, and was he carrying a tray of mushy peas and a pie?
Not quite, but honestly, and by the way, they hate their ticket system up there. There's another story, but honestly, my lad was like, we're walking up to the ground and he went, Dad, what's that? I went, what? And I said, that's a ferret. I said, what? I said, I'll tell you later. It's a long story. So
unbelievable.
Bearing in mind, I've lived up north, so I was used to it.
Of course, yeah, that's right. Yeah. But that's got to be a sight to behold. But off the back of those two brilliant wins, you've then got a bit of a thumping off Derby, then a loss against Lincoln, and then a draw at home against Fleetwood. So
if we go through those, like Lincoln away was at 0-0. We hit the bar, had some good chances in it, hit the bar and did a Frank Lampard, but didn't go in the World Cup styling. And then they had that Taylor lad that's on loan from Luton.
We were looking at him, Joe Taylor. Yeah,
he looks like a player, and he was the difference between two interesting teams, shall we say. Fleetwood, we were winning well, and then they came back, and to be honest, they almost beat us. And I think that's one of the frustrations because we were comfortable at 2-0. I didn't go to the game. Actually, it was one of the few games I've missed this season. But I think that is the frustration because if we'd won that game, we would be not worrying so much about relegation. And we're in a little bit of a false position because we've got, although we've got more points than some have got games in hand. So, for example, so Cheltenham away, which is not really a derby, but it's going to be a full house of Exeter fans, always is. There'll be about 1,400 of us up there easily. We'll take whatever they give us. That's going to be a real tough game for us in a few weeks' time. So we need to win. Period.
Yeah, that is a big. So they've got a game in hand on you and 6 points away. Yeah.
So
both teams are in desperate need for points. Certainly for Wanderers, it's an all important game, and I know it's funny the thing that we said before about needing to follow games up. Obviously, after the Cambridge game, there was the need to go and perform against a team that were in a similar position to us. There was comments in the chat sort of referencing that. But again, it very much feels like we need to show up again and not slip up on potential banana skins. And every game now is huge for us. Chris, how are you expecting the lads to go out there? Are you expecting them to put on a similar show?
Weirdly enough, I expect an improvement on Barnsley in the sense that we need to learn from those mistakes. So the first goal, passing it out from the back, needless mistake. And the second goal, there was a misplaced pass that led to a corner. They scored from the resulting corner, and the defending in the box from said corner was dreadful, utterly dreadful. So I do expect an improvement on that. That said, the last 30 minutes against Barnsley, we were excellent. There's one of their fans who reviews games on TikTok who did a brilliant piece and said that we turned into a super team, and it was comparable to when they got thumped at home last season by Ipswich, who obviously subsequently got promoted. And I think you lose sight of that when you're watching your own team. If you're playing really well, you expect it. You don't kind of, you don't get too carried away with it. But we did. We played really, really well that last half an hour, and I want that to continue. You can push me for a prediction. I would expect to win, purely on the basis that we've got 10 games to go and we're going into what is a critical time of our season. So every game's a win from here on in for me. Score-wise, I think we'd edge it. Maybe, no, Colin, not 7-0 again. I would like something like a 2, maybe 3-1 to us.
That's a good shout. Matthew Rushton has agreed with you there. Radek Selector has gone for a 4-2, which would make for an interesting game. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Wanderers win. Colin has also agreed with me. To the 121 of you watching along live, get your score predictions in, and we will get some of them in the stream. Ian Chadbond has also gone for a 2-0. Whilst we wait for you viewers to get yours in, Al, can we push you for a score prediction?
Yeah, before I do, is Dimitri Mitchell still gobbing off on Twitter and actually playing football now? I'm going to answer that. He got injured in the Middlesbrough Cup game. He's had his operations. He's back on the grass, and he's got a clothing range he keeps talking about. You can see that on Twitter. Dimitri, if you're listening, I'll take any commission from any Bolton Wanderers fans tonight. Another thing, Cheltenham is not really a derby. We don't really take them serious. It's only Plymouth, and we laugh at Torquay. But in terms of but not too much at Torquay because we're trying to save them at the moment. In terms of the score prediction. Our ability to score more than one goal is horrific, and I'm actually going to do us absolutely down and say that it might be a 1-0 or a 2-1 either way, and it really depends whether Exeter score first, to be honest, because our fans are going to be obviously up for it, and I think our team are going to be smarting off what happened at your end. Yeah. So and us fans will be expecting a reaction. Yeah.
Understandably.
So because
certainly fuel to add to the fire, and I'm sure Wanderers fans will be hoping that we can you can't get complacent, can we? It's every game now is monumental and could that Barnsley game did feel season defining, but I think every game from here on in has that potential to be season defining.
Can I make an observation? Sorry, you guys sound really, really nervous about stuff generally. You've got a good team, and I get it, I understand it, and we're a little bit nervous about. In theory, we're too good to go down. We should be. We're definitely stronger than other teams down there financially in terms of size of club as well. But I think you'll be all right. I've seen other teams. Peterborough look good from what I've seen. Derby look good. And obviously you guys look good, I think. And Pompey. It'll be one of those four, I think. So we'll see.
It's looking that way.
Yep. Some of the viewers then, let's get your comments up. Liam has gone for a Wanderers 2-0 win. Kelly has gone for a 4-0 Wanderers win. Lindsay has gone 3-0 to the Wanderers. Pete's gone 1-0. Who else have we had? David has gone for a 1-1 draw. Martin Dawson has gone for a 4-1 Bolton win. It's certainly an air of confidence in the Wanderers fan base, it seems. Some of us. I mean... Not entirely confident. I think it's pretty difficult to be as a Wanderers fan.
I love
that. We've always been the same, Al. I've been watching us since 86 or whatever, and it's never changed. Never, ever changed. We never do it the easy way, and we're always, regardless of how other sort of fans perceive us, that we play really, really well, that it's never good enough. So...
It's funny about DNA because as you picked up from us, our DNA is we've always been a League Two straight League One team, and a lot of our fan base are not. Still think we might be a League Two team, and certainly the guy that is the head of our trust, our chairman at the moment, made a absolute PR gaffe by saying that we'll be competitive in League Two next season if we got relegated. Recently, and there was a lot. Yeah, I can see your reaction. And there was a lot of fans that are going, "Excuse me, we're actually in League One, and we're having a bit of a bumpy second season, but we're consolidating." And off the back of the transfer fees that are probably coming, then we will probably be a financial better player next year.
You're a point behind Wickham and a point behind Charlton.
Yes.
So what is that? Some form of reverse psychology, do you think, or just utter madness?
I think it's utter madness because honestly, we'll go to Charlton and expect to lose a lot of our fan base, and you're like, yeah, and you look at where they are at the moment, and you're just like, really, play the team on the pitch, not the team that used to be, shall we say, and that's not aimed at Bolton Wanderers. Do you know what I mean? I'm just talking, Portsmouth. Yeah. It's like, it's Portsmouth. It's like, really? Okay. I know they've won the FA Cup, but they're in our league, So
yeah, exactly. I find that crazy. We've had some crazy ownership, and we're used to mad comments, but that takes a biscuit. That does. Genuinely. Wow.
To the 141 viewers that have tuned in this evening for your episode of the preview, thank you all very, very much. Make sure you like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. You can find our socials at the bottom of the screen there. Get involved, come and say hello in future episodes. It's a pleasure to have you all with us on a fine Thursday morning. And with any luck, it will be a 3-point podcast on Sunday. So make sure you tune in. But until then, thank you very much for joining us. If you want to find out any more about the Question of Trust pod, then you can find them in the description. But thanks very much, Al, for joining us. Thank you to all the viewers.
Top man. Thanks, Al.
Keep the faith. You're a good football team. Yeah.
Cheers, mate.
Well, we're not going to make it easy. It's on Saturday, yeah? We'll see you down there.
Will do.
And on that note, take care, and we will see you in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.
Yeah, proper job. Take care. Cheers.